Hello, Pit Nation. Big J coming at you. All right, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. And we're going to be doing some barbecuing on this channel. You know, maybe reviewing some barbecue food and doing some cooks for you. So, and I want to kind of set this whole premise up with all the items I'm going to be using are somewhat inexpensive or more reasonable, and then I'll go over what I used to cook on or what I have in the past. But yeah, and then also this is going to be a barbecue channel, you know, things like that, cooking channel. If you're interested in guns, I have another channel, Big Johnson Guns and Gear. You can go over there and check me out there on YouTube, and I enjoy firearms also. And of course we are outside today, so I got the barbecue hat on, and let's get into it. So what have I cooked on in the past? I have cooked on, you know, big offset smokers, an 18-foot tandem smoker on a trailer, and then I do have another smoker. However, it's at my parents' house because it's so big and heavy. It's really not a huge smoker. It is an offset, but it's heavy. And bringing it through the grass, here, you can do the plywood and bring it, but it kept sinking and sinking. So I actually left that one over there, so they've used it, and then when I go over there and cook for them, I use it over there. So it's going to stay over there. Also, you know, as far as fire management and stuff, we're going to simplify some things so your average person, anybody can do it. I am not a professional. I do not claim to be. However, my dad has been on barbecue teams, things like that. I've picked up a lot over the years from him, and I enjoy cooking and always have. So we're going to be doing smoking and all these other kind of things, but let's get into what I've got here. In the past, I also had a Weber, just the OG three-legged Weber. Y'all have all seen them, the inexpensive models. Cooked on it, but then when I started going to offset and other things, I just really didn't use it that much. So I did give it to a friend a long time ago. So I've been without a true Weber kettle. You know, this custom one over here is similar, and we'll go over it in a minute. But so this is my early Father's Day present. My wife and kiddo got this for me, and there's a reason I wanted this one. A lot of people say, why do you need the Performer Deluxe and all this other stuff? There's some features I like about this one. There are some I don't, but we're going to get on. You know, we're going to kind of get into it. But the reason I wanted this one is, as you can see, the larger table. This has the biggest table on it. Why would I want that? Well, if you're cooking a brisket, you're wrapping it, things like that, it gives you a larger work area. And then also, it is metal. It's kind of a textured metal. So when you put your butcher paper down, you can put magnets on it to hold your paper, and it's easier for a one-man show, so to say. So that is another reason that I wanted the bigger table setup. But if y'all have seen these before, I'm sure a lot of people have seen Webers. There are a couple of things on this that, you know, I liked. A couple things I didn't, so let's get into it. If you're not familiar with the Weber, we will show you here real quick, super easy, how they work. But this is your lower area. I'm going to kind of try to show you the best I can. Here you have, on this particular one, some do not have these holes, but there's a hole there, and a hole there. So this is completely closed. This is like kind of medium open, and you can play between the two. This is wide open. So you just slide this, you know. And the neat thing about this particular one is it has like a kind of like a little wheel inside, and you can move it back and forth. It'll knock all your old ash down, and then this is your empty. So it puts the ash in here, you squeeze these, pop it off, and you can dump your Weber. So that's actually a great feature. Now we go over here. You have your little hanging things, so you can hang your tools from your leather straps and all that stuff, you know, if you choose to. I've never really used, I haven't had this particular one on my Weber before. On the old Weber, you just had the little hooks, and that's what I used. Or, you know, you can lay it up here on the table if you choose to, whatever you want to do. Now this, this is a thing that I don't really care for. This is actually a timer. So it's not a temperature or a thermometer where you could run probes, you know, like for your ambient, your center temp, all that stuff. It's a freaking timer. So you've got that, you know, on your phone, you've got that on a watch, you've got all this stuff. So I guess, you know, for some people it might be cool, but for me, I think it's totally useless. I will never put batteries in it, and I will never use it. All right, on this model, that is one of the features on this model, you can actually put a small propane bottle. You just screw it right up under here. You can see the brass. You just screw your little propane bottle on there, you turn it on, you can hit it, and it's an auto igniter to help light your fire if you choose to use that. You can also buy an aftermarket, not Weber, but an aftermarket hose that goes down to a large propane tank on the ground if you want to use that. And you could kind of cook with charcoal or lump, and you could use the gas if you choose to and just cook like that. I am a chimney guy, but you know, I could see a lot of people using that to help light their fire. Here, this is just a little bucket that pops out on the side. Right here, it tilts and allows you to put your charcoal inside here. So you can just take the whole entire bag, set the whole bag in there, cut the top off, or you can dump it. I don't really want to dump it because I don't want different charcoals mixed. But you know, and we'll get into the charcoal I use or prefer and all that stuff later. But now let's go up to the top. All right, here, kind of do it this way. All right, now you probably see the cradle here. A lot of people might be like, what the hell is that thing for? Well, what it's for is when you tilt your lid, you can actually, it's a holder, so you set it down in here and it holds your hot lid for you, so you don't have to lay it up here on your table that you might have your brisket or tongs or whatever else on. This does have the cool touch, so it does have the handle right here. Some do not. This one does, so you can open it all the way, you know, close it, leave it semi-open. I have noticed on this one it's a little loose. So that's a little loose, and that kind of bugs me. It's just a rivet, so I can actually take it and punch it. But, because I haven't cooked on this yet. This is brand new, but not real, you know, I would like it a little tighter, but we'll play with it. And once I heat it up, it actually might tighten up a little bit, so we'll see. It does have a handle on here, really nice handle, and it has a heat shield. A lot of the Webers, they had the close handles where they were really close. It would get so hot it would actually melt the handle. This actually keeps it away, and it gives a good distance, so I actually really like this. In my opinion, this thermometer is absolutely worthless. Now, will it work and show heat? Yeah, I'm sure it will. But when I show how this is set up on the inside, you'll kind of get the idea that I'm talking about. And I'll leave the lid in a position that shows you, because I do prefer to run my protein on the left side, and I would have my fire on the right side. So you're going to have a thermostat right above a fire, which it's probably going to peak out if you're really blazing it. And the smoke is designed to come across your protein and then escape through here. That's how it's officially designed. Kind of like a circular, you know, moving air through here. But let's go ahead and get into it. So we take this off. Tell you what, I'm going to turn that. But you take it off, and it actually will hold at that position. Now, do I like that position? Yes, because it actually allows some kind of tilt a little bit inward. This one, it's all the way back. So it allows you to have really good access to your grill. Now inside, now remember, I was actually showing you down under here, you know, how to see how this turns. If we have it completely closed, you can see it's blocked off that little door. I turn it, it opens, so lets air flow under the bottom. I can keep turning it and just have them wide open. And then if you move it back and forth like this, it actually pushes your ashes down through the holes into your ash bucket. Right now it's completely closed. Now this is not the stock grill top that it comes with. I don't like the stock grill top that it comes with. On this deluxe model, it actually has a little opening here where you can take the little middle grill out to run like a vortex. And if you don't know what a vortex is, you can Google it. But you can have a fire in the middle, put the vortex cone over it, and it actually pushes the heat up. It hits the top of your Weber, pushes it down, or crispy up your chicken wings, etc. It is great. That grill is great for a vortex, but this works well. Also, on the stock grill, if you want to spin your crate like this, you can't do it on a stock one because it actually hangs. it'll get stuck. So this one you can. Now, this actual grill is all stainless steel and it's made by S&S Grills. I purchased it, they didn't send it to me, any of that kind of stuff. But the reason why is it has this built in it. So if you need to add charcoal, you don't have to take the whole grill off. You can move your meat over, add some more charcoal, put this down. So you do have a hinge here. So that's really a great thing to have. Now let's get into the other part. Take this off, move it over here. Okay, if you haven't seen one of these, this is the way I like to cook. I do 2-zone cooking. That's what I prefer. And what that means is you're gonna have all your fire on one side, your cool zone on the other side. So if you wanna put a steak here and actually not sear it from the get-go, just put your steak over here and cook it, you know, to where it's to your desired temperature. Then at the end, you come over here and you do your searing, you know, or that's a reverse sear. Or you start with your proteins, sear it, and then move it over. So you can do a pre-sear or a regular sear, not a reverse sear. But this is actually called the Slow and Sear Deluxe. Now this is a box on its own. Show you what it looks like. Comes out and it's a tray. You can put it in any kind of a Weber. They actually have different sizes, small, big, you know. They even have them bigger than this. I think they have like a 26-inch as well. But you put your fire in here. You've got, like I said, 2 zones of cooking. And I mean, it's stainless steel, heavy duty. You know, Weber comes with 2 little baskets. I'll show you that on the other one. But this one is much, much larger. Also, the neat thing about this, if you're smoking a brisket, this will take, you know, you'll still have a very large firebox or fire area. But then here you'll add hot water in here and you'll have fire, water, and then your cool zone. So it'll keep your meats moist and things like that if you're doing a long smoke. So that's kind of why I wanted this setup. And then we'll just put our grate back on here, and I'm doing all this one-handed. And if you ever want to spin this, you can just grab the handle and spin it. You can't do that with the regular grate that comes from the factory. And again, for fire management, you lift these up with your tongs or pliers. That's what I use. You want to run this not all the way back, but a little here, a little away from this rim, so your steaks will to get to it. And you could run it even a little farther back. I just don't put it all the way against it. But you know, you can add charcoal here, you can add lump, you can add whatever briquettes, whatever you want there, and then you can also fill if you need to add water or whatever. It does recommend using hot water from the get-go, so there you go there. And this whole time, my lid haven't had to lay it on the ground, I haven't had to move it over here, haven't had to do anything with it, so I'm just going to throw those back on there. But what is my beef with this? Like I was talking about, here's your fire. So, and I understand why they did this, because you have air that's flowing through there. However, I wish they would have had, you know, I guess if you want, if you're just doing one big cook and using your fire everywhere, then you could actually take this, turn it over here, you know, and that would kind of give you a base. But for the setup I have, and I may even do this, I might drill a hole into here, tap it out, and put another thermometer here. However, I do use, you know, like electric probes, handhelds, things like that. So we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how I do it. But let's get on to the next grill. And again, this does have casters. It's got wheels on the back, casters on the front, so you can roll it around. On the bottom rack, you could put like a tub and keep stuff in it, or just stack crap under there, wood chunks, whatever you wanted to use. And I do also have the cover for it, the correct cover. Now let's get into this bad boy. This one I have had for, oh man, 30 plus years. This one's custom made out of Texas, here in Texas. You can see the lightning bolt on the other side. That was kind of his signature. But this one is actually made out of a antique tractor wheel. So if you can kind of get an idea of it, you know, like the top part's been cut out. That's what the bottom base is. He's got it tubbed on the top. Built a rack here. Back in the day, this one was kind of expensive. It's also heavy. The top does come off of that pedestal. If you look right down there, you'll see where it actually divides off. So you can lift the top off and then the base will stay there. You can't just pick the whole thing up and walk around with it. I usually take the base off, set it in the grass, and then, you know, wherever I'm moving it, it does make it easier to move. Now, when I had this patio built, you can kind of see I've got umbrellas. I had these columns built, and I had holes put in it so you could put umbrella stands. My thought was actually kind of making it larger to set pits like this in each one of the corners, but my wife was like, oh hell no, we're not doing that. So anyway, but he did put a horseshoe on here for me for the handle, and it's just got a small stack on it and a hinge. It's got the slit here on the front. You will get a little bit of air leak through the gaps here. Not that big of a deal, because this is kind of a fast cooker. It's kind of like a kettle, you know, kind of like a play on a kettle. Now, as far as the airflow, you can kind of see I've got a slit right here in the front. You can see it's pretty large. Now, what I usually do is I can run, in the past, I've actually taken a beer can, put a little rock in there, a little heat rock, put a beer can in there with water or moisture in it and leaned it up against that, and that'll help block the airflow if I need to close some of it off. Or you can cut an aluminum can in half and kind of run like a baffle. It's kind of rigged. You know, you could actually screw a piece of plate in here so where I could unscrew it, move it up and down. I might still do that. I just haven't messed with it yet. Inside, you can kind of see, you know, they're not the great footings. The great footings are super thick, but they're kind of gorilla welded on there. Now, one thing I did buy, the grill, the old grill on this was made by him also. It's super old, it's rusty, it looks like dog shit. I wouldn't cook anything on it. So I ordered this one. This one's super heavy for stainless steel, and it's super thick. So I ordered this one, kind of the same setup. Here, you can see, I can have my fire management on this side, and down in the bottom you will see those two baskets. That is what came in this kettle next to it. Those are the kettle, the Weber factory baskets. You can use one basket, two baskets, whatever you want to do. And then the bottom grate is actually the center of the factory Weber grill that came on the Deluxe next to this. So that has kind of a angled bottom where everything goes down into the stem. I wanted to flatten it out, so that's why I put the grate in the bottom so it would hold the baskets properly. And then that's why I did this. Now, when I ordered this also, if I want to move the fire to the front, if I want to move the fire to the back, if I move it to the back, I can't open the door because of this. So you can see this door opens. It won't open if you put it in the far back, but it does spin. And so I can get it to this correct angle, and then it's right enough to clear so I can open it, up, add stuff to the basket, you know, coals, whatever I need to do. The farther back basket is going to be a little more difficult. If I have heat gloves on, I could throw some briquettes or maybe some wood chunks in there. But we've got that there, and then the closer down. Like I said, this thing is super old, super heavy. And this is just some, you know, like super thick kind of chicken wire looking stuff. But this is going to be my setup. I'm really excited about it. I've already got some stuff being prepped. Did it today, and got it in the fridge. So we're going to start busting out some cooks on this. I will say this, I tried to shoot this video twice today. You know, like, and it was so hot it actually shut my phone off, so I had to wait till later this evening to come out and do this. But I wanted to keep it simple with, you know, basic grills and things like that that people probably already own. The Weber is one of the most popular grills ever. That's, you know, kind of a copy of this over here from the original Weber. But, you know, people have Webers. They're great grills. I mean, even when I had my old one, it cooked fantastically. It's just if you're cooking for a really, really large group, even the 22, the 26, it just doesn't give you enough room to have two zones of cooking for me. If you're just throwing coals in there and you're going to go to town, yeah, you can go to work. But, you know, even when you're buying a big brisket like that you could smoke in a big offset smoker, on this you have to trim it down to make sure it'll properly fit. You're going to get shrinkage from a brisket, or for most of your meats. But you know, especially if you want to do like a two-tier or two-zone cooking like I'm talking about. But as you can see, the tabletop is really nice. I mean, it's textured. It just gives you a lot of area space. You know, I really like that. I don't like the way that's screwed in, so I'll fix that. But anyway, let me know what your favorite grill is. Do you enjoy cooking out? Are you excited about this channel? Or are you just like, I remember your gun channel. You know, that's what I'm all about, is just the gun channel. And again, if you want to check it out, it's Big Johnson Guns and Gear. You know, really enjoy gear, guns, talking about things like that. On this channel also, I'll be doing some barbecuing. I'll be doing some bourbon tasting. I might even bring out some, you know, like a barbecue gun to kind of review or talk about during the cook. Might just set it right up on that table and we'll do a little chat about it. You know, I just want to have fun, you know, great camaraderie with, you know, everyone. I hope you enjoy the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. And again, if you do want to check out the gun channel, it's Big Johnson Guns and Gear. Feel free to go over there and like and subscribe as well. But I think we're going to have a good time here. I'm really excited about it. And I just wanted to get some newer items such as this Weber, so we could kind of get everything fired up and going from fresh. And I will definitely use my little old school custom over there. I really do enjoy that. I've cooked a lot of stuff on it in the past, and I'm glad I got to do great. You know, I really like the patina on it. It had a whole patina top. But my wife was like, if you're going to put it out here in this really nice seating area, it's not going to look ghetto when company comes over. So I painted it black. But, you know, been married 30 years, best friend in the world, love her to death. And she lets me do what I want to do. But she was just like, I can't handle that patina. But maybe it'll start patinaing again. I'm just joking. I'm going to get a cover for it. I'm just trying to find the right size, but we'll get a cover on that one too as well, you know, just to protect it. But I'll have different gadgets, cooking gadgets, different tips that I do, how to trim, specific